You are working harder than ever before.
You got the degree they told you to get. You are earning $6,000 a year. Yet somehow, you are broke. You cannot afford a home. You cannot build savings. You are living paycheck to paycheck.
One emergency away from financial disaster.
So what happened? Welcome to Money Mentor. This is not a story about personal failure.
This is not about avocado toast or frivolous spending.
This is about the largest wealth transfer in modern history.
A systematic dismantling of middle-class prosperity. While politicians and economists told you the economy was doing great.
Between 2020 and 2026, something fundamental broke.
Prices exploded. Wages crawled. People who once felt secure now feel poor.
If you earn $60,000 and you feel like you are drowning,
you are not imagining it. You are not bad with money.
you are experiencing the mathematical reality.
Let me show you the numbers that tell the real story.
In June of 2022, inflation in the United States hit 9.1%.
In the United Kingdom, it reached 11.1%.
These were not abstract statistics. These were price increases that hit your grocery bill, your rent, your gas tank.
Even as headline inflation cooled, prices did not fall.
This is the critical detail that most people miss. The cumulative damage became permanent.
Prices are still 18 to 22% higher.
And your salary did not rise to match.
A worker earning 60,000 Shirtmuyns would need 73 to 75,000 Shirtmuyns.
Most workers did not get 20 to 25% raise, 5% raises.
The typical raise, 3 to 5% annually.
You got a 10% increase. Haji, everything became 20% more expensive.
You are not standing still.
you are falling backward.
This is not your fault. This is a systemic failure.
Understanding how it happened is the first step.
We must go back to the root causes.
Since the 1970s, productivity grew much faster than median wages.
Workers produce more value per hour, capture less.
The gains have flowed upward.
Housing shifted from being a place to live into an investment asset class.
Do you have private equity?
Boeki, history, foreign capital, institutional investors. A home that cost $200,000 now costs $400,000 or more.
Healthcare costs have exploded, nearly 18% of GDP.
Even people with good insurance now face $5,000 to $10,000.
Education debt has become a permanent anchor. A monthly payment of $200 to $400. Childcare costs, often exceeding rent. All of these forces were already squeezing the middle class before the pandemic hit.
Then came COVID-19.
Governments around the world pumped trillions.
The United States alone injected roughly $5 trillion. Necessary, but it had consequences.
Supply chains shattered. Factories closed. Ports backed up.
Shipping costs exploded 5 to 10 times normal levels.
Demand surged as people emerged from lockdowns.
Demand met constrained supply, and prices exploded.
Energy prices spiked as OPEC Plus cut production and the Russia-Ukraine war disrupted.
Oil touched $120 per barrel. Gasoline hit $5 per gallon.
Natural gas and electricity prices in Europe doubled or tripled.
Food commodity prices surged due to supply chain chaos, fertilizer shortages, droughts.
By 2022, inflation was out of control. Central banks had kept interest rates near zero for over a decade.
Inflating asset prices but doing little for wages.
The Federal Reserve began the most aggressive rate hiking cycle in decades.
Mortgage rates doubled to 7% or higher.
This created a double catastrophe for housing.
Home prices had already surged 27%.
Due to low rates, remote work demand, and limited inventory.
Now, with rates doubling, monthly mortgage payments exploded.
User handle those finance. A $400,000 house at 3%. Now costs $2,660 per month at 7%.
That is nearly $1,000 more every single month.
Or $12,000 per year, just in interest.
If you were hoping to buy a home, you were locked out.
If you were renting, you were not safe either.
Rents surged 20 to 30% nationally.
Landlords raised rents because they could.
A one-bedroom apartment that cost $1,200 now costs $1,600 to $1,800.
That is nearly half of their take-home pay gone to rent alone.
Add utilities, internet, and phone, and you are well over half.
Then comes food, eggs, chicken, beef, dairy, bread.
A grocery bill that was $400 is now $500 to $600.
Transportation costs have exploded. Auto insurance premiums rose.
Gasoline's still higher than pre-pandemic levels. Car payments are larger.
Let me show you what this looks like in real numbers. You earn $60,000 per year, which is $5,000 per month gross. After taxes, you take home approximately $3,750 to $4,000.
In a mid-sized city, your rent is $1,700.
Utilities, internet and phone, groceries,
Transportation, including car payment, insurance, gas, and maintenance.
Health insurance and out-of-pocket costs. Student loans. If you have one child, add $1,000 for childcare.
you are at $4,750. You are in the red. You have nothing left.
While you have been struggling, others have been winning.
Asset owners saw their wealth grow. Stock markets recovered. Real estate prices surged.
If you bought a house in 2015 with a fixed rate mortgage,
Corporations with pricing power passed costs to consumers. Record profits. Energy producers made fortunes. Landlords raised rents faster than their costs increased.
meanwhile, wage earners, renters, first-time homebuyers, and small businesses were crushed.
If you do not own assets, you have nothing to offset inflation. Renters saw costs explode with no equity to show for it.
Small businesses faced rising costs. Retirees. Bonds had their worst year. The wealth gap grew even wider.
Look at this. How are we supposed to cover a deductible this high?
I don't know, but we can't ignore it.
What happens next? There are several possible futures.
In the best-case scenario, central banks achieve a soft landing.
The more likely scenario, a muddle-through or new normal.
The worst case is recession combined with stagflation.
Your heart sounds strong. Look at the little duck. He's going quack, quack. Your heart sounds strong. Look at the little duck. He's going quack, quack.
So what do? You cannot wait for the system to fix itself.
First, budget ruthlessly. Eliminate non-essentials.
Second, kill high-interest debt.
Third, build an emergency fund, even if it is tiny. Fourth, increase your income, switch jobs, negotiate, build skills.
Fifth, optimize your taxes. Contribute to tax-advantaged accounts.
Sixth, if you have any surplus, invest it smartly. Avoid speculation. Seventh, consider geographic arbitrage if you can work remotely.
Eighth, vote an advocate.
Here is the truth that no one in power wants to admit.
$60,000 feels poor because 20% inflation met 5% wage growth, because housing prices doubled and mortgage rates doubled,
Because healthcare costs 18% of GDP and keeps rising. Because childcare costs more than college. Because student debt is a permanent burden.
Because the gig economy destroyed job security. Because wealth and income have been systematically transferred upward for 40 years.
The American dream and its equivalents around the world are not dead, but they are on life support.
You are not powerless. You can take control of your personal finances. You can increase your income. Knowledge is power. Action is change. You deserve a life where hard work leads to security.
That future is still possible, but only if we fight for it.
If this video helped you understand, subscribe to Money Mentor. Together, we can navigate this crisis, protect our futures, and demand the change we